How's it going, everybody? Nick DiVirgilio here, and today's video is on this Gretsch Catalina Special Edition 5-piece shell pack. First thing I want to mention is when I say 5-piece shell pack, you're probably saying, Nick, because you've watched my videos, I hope. Shell packs normally don't come with a snare drum. This one comes with a matching snare drum, and it's fantastic. So many great features with this drum kit. Let's get into the details right now. First thing to talk about in this drum kit is the shells. They are hybrid shells of maple and walnut, 7-ply stick with 3 plies of broadband maple in the middle, sandwiched on either side by 2 plies on each side of walnut. Great hybrid sound because you get clarity and punch from maple and some nice warmth with walnut. On the insides of the drum shells, they lacquer the inside, so it's really a beautiful lush wood look, beautiful wood grain all around. You also get a sticker that has the wood species that are used, the walnut and the maple, and the year of the production, which is 2020. One more thing about the shells, it's the bearing edges, 30-degree bearing edges, which harkens back to Gretsch USA Custom and their Brooklyn drums, so you get some nice high-end features in the shell of the Catalina Special Edition. The sizes of this particular setup, in the rack tom, it's 8x12. The 2 floor toms are 14x14 and 16x16. The kick drum is 14x22, and their matching snare drum is 6.5x14. All very cool sizes. Now, before I get into all the great hardware that comes with this kit, let's get into the sound of the drums first. So, as usual, snare wires off, and let's hear the sound of these toms. Great musical tone from top to bottom. They came out of the box really close to being in tune. I only had to adjust a little bit, but boy, that's really musical, nice tone interval between tom to tom to tom. Now let me put the snare wires on, do the same thing for you. Now also, the drums are completely wide open, no dampening at all, and they're tuned pretty high. They went there naturally, and they just sound good at that point. So the heads I have on the toms here are coated single ambassador Remo heads, nice stock heads right out of the box. You could tune these drums wherever you want. If you want to go thuddier and lower, they'll definitely go down there. Try some different head combinations. I always suggest trying different head combinations when you buy a new kit. Use the stock heads till they wear out a little bit, then try some other things, and you'll find sounds you may not realize you were going for, and these drums will take you anywhere you want to go for sure. Now let's get into this snare drum, 6.5x14. First the snare wires off, and then I'll put them on while I'm playing. Here we go. It's a really nice sounding snare drum, and it has a lot of volume. Usually with wood hoops, you don't get that kind of volume, but boy, it's a really cracking sounding snare drum. And you get a really nice side stick sound, whether the snare wires are on or off. Woody tone like that, or your typical side stick sound with the snare wires on. Very cool sounding snare. Now to the sound of the kick drum. There's no dampening inside. You get a clear ambassador kick drum head on the batter side with the muffle ring, and there's no hole on the front head in this demonstration. That's how it came out of the box. I wanted you to hear it, how you would get it when you open up the box at your house. It's big, it's punchy, and it's round, and I didn't have to tune it that much right out of the box. Here we go. Definitely big and boomy, and it's only 14 inches deep. Let's put the snare wires on and do that again. This is a fat sounding kick drum. Now if you want to get it more punchy, more rock and roll sounding, cut the hole in the front, put a little bit of dampening on the resonant and the batter side, you get a nice punchy rock and roll kick drum sound. The way the drum set is set up right now, it'll fit in all kinds of styles of music. Even though the toms are high, this will still punch with some funk music, some gospel music, pop music, you know, classic rock. This will fit in any situation. Just you might have to manipulate the drums a little bit here and there, but these drums will take you anywhere you want to go. Now let's get into the hardware on this killer Catalina Special Edition kit. First thing I want to say, wood hoops all around, top and bottom. So you get a great feel with the wood hoop, and it gives it a really cool vintage look, and it does definitely add to the sound. It's different than having your typical triple flanged counter hoops. Wood hoops feel nice, and they look good, and it's a great addition to the sound. Also, claw hooks all over the drum kit, another great visual feature. A really cool thing about the rack tom is a typical Gretsch thing here, 5 lug rack tom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 6, 8, 10, whatever, 5. And Gretsch is really the only company that I know that puts 5 lugs on their rack toms. Everything else is 8 lug all the way around the kit. The lugs themselves are smaller versions than the typical Gretsch lug, but they look the same. They're just a little bit shrunk down. Now let's get into the tom holder. What I think is really cool is the rack tom has the tom mount right on the shell. They do have a nice spacer here, and you know, listen, a lot of times drum companies put on tom mounts that let the drums hang and resonate, and that's fantastic. There's lots of killer tom mounting systems out there, and even Gretsch has their own special tom mounting system. But old school drums, how many records did you hear back in the old days when tom mounts were directly on the rack tom or on the rack toms? A million of them. The drums still sounded great. These drums sound great, and listen, you see more of the shell, you don't see more of hardware. Lots of cool features, and in my opinion, I think it's great. Now, it's mounted on the old school gas cap right here on the kick drum. Looks great. Single tom arm coming there. You also have the ability to mount something on the tom holder right here like I did. I mounted my ride cymbal. You can mount anything you want, of course, percussion, tambourines, cowbells, other cymbals, splashes or crashes, whatever you want. But it's a nice feature there so you can have your cymbal right there in front of you. The kick drum spurs on this kick drum are nice and sturdy. The kick drum is not moving at all, which I love. I need good kick drum spurs on any kick drum, and the Gretsch ones here are working fantastic. The throw off and strainer on the snare drum, very simple and easy to use. Snare wires on, snare wires off. Turn your tension up and down even while you're playing. Really easy. The butt plate's on the other side. Simple version with that. And that's all of the hardware on this great Gretsch Catalina hybrid shell drum kit. Fantastic drums, a lot of fun to play. In fact, I'm going to play a little more right now. One last thing to mention about the wood hoops, especially on the snare drum, it's a slightly different feel than your typical triple flanged or die cast hoop, especially on the backbeats. When you hit those rim shots, you know, you're laying into wood. It's a little softer feeling than metal, of course. But I just wanted to mention that real quick to you. Real quick here before I close out the video, I want to mention I have a lot of other great gear with me here. Lots of beautiful Gibraltar hardware, the kick drum pedal, the throne, hi-hat stand, these beautiful Sabian cymbals, lots of very cool microphones. If you're interested in checking out any of the other gear I'm using here, just click on the links below the video. And there you have it, everybody, the Gretsch Catalina Special Edition 5-piece shell pack. There's also a bop version, which means you get an 18-inch kick drum, 12-inch rack tom, 14-inch floor tom, and a 5.5 by 14-inch snare drum, both with the same beautiful walnut burst finish. Fantastic drums. They sound great. They feel great. A lot of fun to play. Take you to any style of music you want to go to. I encourage you to check these drums out. If you want any more information about this Gretsch product or any other Gretsch product, just talk to your Sweetwater sales engineer. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Click right here for more videos just like these, or start at Sweetwater for all your music instrument and pro audio needs.